Hey everybody, Julie Quinn here, and I'm going to go over week 7 assignments for you. You'll notice that the week is much lighter as far as assigned readings. There's not a big gaggle of assigned readings. There are 3 shorter ones. There are 2 discussions, but the discussions, one is about language, primary and secondary audiences, and plagiarism and business and professional writing. So you get a chance to think about different audiences again, and the language maybe, and the tone, and the approach, and the data you may use for determining a primary and secondary audience, and then plagiarism with business and professional writing. What you'll find is that plagiarism does not seem to be as big of a deal in the business world within offices as it is in academia. But the project that you're putting together has you blend the two. So you're doing a business writing, but you're still writing it to an academic audience. And so that's why these 2 week 7 discussion topics are paired. Your primary audience would be the stakeholder of the memo that you were describing the project to, right? And your secondary audience would be me, your professor. And in a business environment, a secondary audience would certainly be any additional readers that the stakeholders may want to get involved in the project, right? That they may share this document with, they may eventually get their hands on. So those are the discussions. You're going to also go over bad news messages. And, you know, again, this week is much lighter so that you work on the gaps that you've got in your essay that you know are there. You may not get feedback until the weekend just because I have so many of these, and these are in-depth projects, and it takes me a while to do them. So be prepared to wait until Friday or even Saturday for feedback. But while you're waiting, you can work on those discussions. You can continue to research if you need to, and you can, of course, evaluate your primary research that's continuing to come in. I imagine that you may not have all of that done quite yet, which is totally normal. Okay, so you're waiting for feedback from me, and as you wait, examine the material about formal and informal writing. We've got some quick content here, not a lot of reading to do, but just enough to sort of keep you motivated and moving forward. There is often an informality in business writing, depending on the audience, emails between colleagues, for example. And then there's sometimes extremely formal elements of business writing. So you're doing a business proposal where you are doing business plan, and you are trying to get money from a bank, and you have to present them a much more formalized document, right? Or you're doing requests for proposals from other companies for work that you need done. So the type of writing that you do in a business environment, it ranges significantly depending on who your audience is. And so you can kind of see how there's an overlap with different discussions of audiences, a quick discussion about plagiarism, and some of the readings about writing style, commonly confused words, and of course the bad news message. So look at the first paragraph here in the overview. Business writing includes receiving feedback on your writing from coworkers, supervisors, and clients. Perhaps you've had the experience of submitting a report to your manager only to find them suggesting revisions to various sections, probably ones that you did not anticipate, right? Or you've participated in the writing of a group document at work and received corrective feedback from a colleague about your grammar. So we're going to talk about that process. How do you manage the bad news in a business environment in a response text? And remember that writing is an iterative process. Just means that it's circular. You often don't just write in one draft and then you're done. Especially for larger, more important text like a research report that you're doing right now. Drafting, revising, editing occur at various stages and often repeat themselves, right? Depending on your stakeholders. In week 7, you're going to read about the difference between words like affect and affect, accept and accept. This isn't an issue for everybody, so skim that reading. If it's a problem that you notice that you have, especially if you're writing quickly, then go a little bit more deeply in it. But, prioritize your time right now. Okay, by the end of this week, we will apply effective writing style to accommodate different audiences. Compose an executive summary to persuade that decision maker. Now, you've already composed it. Now we're just refining it. And then also identify commonly misused words in English, and then reflect. Let's add something here on plagiarism and how it is an issue differently in business and academia. If I can spell, gotta use that spell checker. Okay, so those are the things that we'll be thinking about this week. Keep working hard on those drafts. Once you get the feedback, if you have any questions on the feedback whatsoever, just reach out. And we have a chance to work later this week and at the beginning of next week as well, as you continue to put this document together. Reach out if you have any questions.